The liminal space is defined as a unique spiritual position where human beings hate to be, but where the biblical God is always leading them. It's when you have left the tried and true, but have not yet been able to replace it with anything else. It's when you're finally out of the way. It's when you're between your old comfort zone and any possible new answer. If you are not trained to hold anxiety, how to live with ambiguity, how to entrust and wait, you will run. You will do anything to flee this terrible cloud of unknowing. Richard Rohr, some guy I found on the internet. My name is Katie Sabira. I tour the country with comedy shows that I write about addiction recovery, spiritual healing, personal transformation, and personal growth. I do stand-up comedy. I work as a regional theater actress and a regional theater director, and I give private spiritual healings to individual human beings. I want to tell you the story today of how I came to be a person who lives in, respects, and venerates the space between, or the liminal space. I was raised by a lapsed Irish Catholic marketing executive, corporate world CEO mom, and an empiricist, scientist, atheist, Russian Jew dad. Okay? I always like to say having a Russian Jew dad and an Irish Catholic mom is like a double whammy against me because I hate myself and I feel guilty about that. So the point being, I was not exactly raised in a female or feminine or receptive or present or spiritual paradigm. I was raised in a male, masculine, shut up, don't have feelings, stuff it down, take some drugs, pull up your bootstraps, have a goal, push anything in the way of the goal, out of the way, toward the goal, get the goal, succeed, and shut up. Paradigm. And I became quite good at that paradigm. I was actually a very successful doer. I was very good at having to-do lists and checking everything on the to-do list off. And succeeding. Desperate success was the point. So, where did this get me? At 23, I realized I had a profound and devastating alcohol and drug addiction. I was also a compulsive overeater, so dramatically so, in fact, that I went to treatment for my eating disorder. My eating disorder almost killed me and was actually more devastating to me than my alcohol and drug abuse issue. And that's funny to that lady. So I get sober miraculously. Time goes by. Cut to 6 years into the sobriety process. This was now almost exactly 6 years ago from today. Cut to 6 years in, what does my type A male paradigm have me? It has me a lot of really cool stuff on the outside. I'm working as a professional regional theater actress. I'm getting paid as a working artist. All of my money comes from my vision. I'm living my vision. My vision is very clear and I'm living it. I'm living it passionately and with verve and vigor and all the things The Secret tells us we should do. My first solo comedy show is touring the country. I've been in about 10 states at that point. I've probably done 1,000 performances of my first show. It's going quite well. I have a gorgeous apartment on Lake Merritt in Oakland overlooking the lake. I have everything I want externally, okay? On the inside, however, I used to describe it like this. I felt like I had a mountain that started at the base of my throat, like this, like a triangle point, and went down to the base of my pelvis. And it was a mountain of rage and shame and self-hate and sadness and fear and devastation and betrayal. And it felt like darkness. It felt like a rock. It felt like cement. It felt tight all the time. And I couldn't meditate enough to make it soften. I couldn't book enough gigs to make it soften. I couldn't sleep with enough toxic men to make it soften. And by the way, my last and my worst addiction was my addiction to toxic men. At that time, 6 years ago, I was so addicted to toxic men, I used to say, like, I had to, like, not like you at least a little bit in order to sleep with you. I had to either be, like, a little nauseated by you or actively hate you, or I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'd be like, you make me sick, John. I'll I'll see you at 11. So the point being, things were tight inside and nothing seemed to be helping. At that point, I had done a lot of things to try to help myself. I'd done Reiki, I'd done Rolfing, I'd done past life regression, I'd done birthing, rebirthing, therapy, cranial sacral, somatic, chiropractic, polarity balancing, toning, meditative, serenity baths, mud packs on my eyes, a spa, a retreat, it's all about what you eat, I did it all. Okay, and nothing was changing the triangle. So, at that time, 6 years ago, this moment in time I'm talking about, I was living in, I'm not making this up, Grass Valley, California. I had booked a play right here in Nevada City. I was doing Urinetown at the old Foothill Theater Company. They're no longer here, but they were at the time. And I was living the dream outside, and the triangle was well and alive inside. I was living with my friend Sharon Connor all the way out on Wolf Mountain Road, which is far out there in the middle of where the lions are. They have mountain lions here. It's scary. So every night, what would happen to me is about 3 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up in the morning, I should backtrack. The psychiatrists had me on a mass rash of drugs. They decided I was bipolar, okay? Because I did have these manic swings and then these depressive episodes. I would like be on top of the world, accomplishing stuff, getting things done, and then I would be incapable of getting out of bed. And no one could make sense of it, least of all myself. So the psychiatrist told me I was bipolar. So they had me on 3 different drugs. It was like Seroquel, Lamictal, and something else that ends with ill. There was no way, I knew no other way. I had no experience of female nurturing. I had no experience of sensitivity, spirituality. I had no experience of those things being effective tools one could use in one's life. So, what does any rational, upper middle class, white, pseudo-Jew do in a moment of such stress? I went to a bookstore. And I sat in a chair in the bookstore and I meditated, because thankfully at that time at least I had a meditation practice going, and I sat down in meditation in a chair in the bookstore and I told the universe what was happening for me, and I told it that I needed help. In that moment I heard a voice. Not a schizophrenic, dissociative, you're a crazy person voice, but like an intuitive, this is the divine talking kind of voice. And the voice said, very clearly to me, the voice said, what you need to do, Katie, is you need to get the light of the divine. I don't care if you believe in it, but you need to get the light of the divine to come into your body and actually change you. You can no longer afford to have only a theoretical understanding of what this universe, God, Great Spirit, Mother Tree, Om Shanti, whatever you want to call it, is. For you, it has to become actual, and it has to come into your body. That's the only way you're going to change. Okay, that was cool. How the hell was that going to happen? I had done all the healing things. There was nothing left as far as I was concerned. So I got out of my chair in the bookstore and I walked through one aisle of books thinking I was leaving. As I was walking through this aisle of books, I'm not making this up, a book fell off the shelf in front of me, onto the ground in front of me. I picked up the book and it was called Depression Free Naturally. And it was a book about supplements, okay? It taught me about amino acids and how to take supplements and amino acids and things like this to treat my own brain chemistry. I bought the book, I read the book cover to cover, and proceeded to become my own naturopath, which worked for me for many years, and frankly, I've never been on medication since, thank you God, since I read that book. Now, at the same time, the same day, I got the book, I got in my car, I went home. I checked my email. There was one email in my inbox. It was from my friend Tiffany Hosna Wood, who I hadn't seen or heard from in 5 years. She and I had been good friends in Miami, Florida, but we'd grown apart. She was in Miami, I was here, we hadn't heard from each other. The email says, hey, Sacramento friends, I'm coming to Sacramento really soon. I need a ride from the airport to the blah blah hotel to hear my Sufi master teacher talk. Can one of you guys who live in Sacramento give me a ride? And I write back and I go, hey girl, haven't heard from you in a long time. How did you know I live near Sacramento at this moment? And how did I get on this list? It looks like a group list. How did I suddenly get on it? And she writes back, hey dude, how did you get on my list? I didn't know you lived in Sacramento. What are you doing in Sacramento? How is this happening? So our brains are exploding. And at this point, I know enough to take this as a sign. So I don't want to go to the stupid Sufi thing. It's the last thing I want to do with my free time. Because I've done all the healing things and I'm done. It's not open-minded, ready for that. But I see the sign and I go, fine. So kicking and screaming, I go to the stupid Sufi thing. The man gets up at the front of the room and he's teaching about the layers of the heart and the way that the heart and the soul and the spirit are connected and the way that healing works in this particular paradigm. And the way he's describing it the words that he says, I grok them, like here. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Like this thing is arguing and making sounds, but in here I like got this, man. And I knew I was supposed to go to his school. It's a 3-year school. It's $8,000 a year. I had $11 in my checking account. So I went up, I got the application, I filled it out, I turned it in, they accepted me. Cut to a week before I'm supposed to go to the school. Okay, I got the dad paradigm, it's still working. I think I gotta do things, I gotta make lists, I gotta make stuff happen. But the paradigm is crumbling in front of me. It's not quite working anymore. You get the idea. So it's a week before I'm supposed to go to the school. I need $3,000 in a week. I have to pay the school $3,000 for a deposit. I know intuitively I'm supposed to go to this school, but I don't have $3,000. I don't have anywhere near $3,000. So I call my friend Tiffany again, who's already in the school, already on the path. I say, Tiffany, what do? I don't have $3,000. She says, you gotta call this guy Sidi in Jerusalem. He's a holy man. He's the head of the Sufi thing. You're on the team with the Sufi people now. You get to call him no matter what. I go, fine. I hang up. I think it's all a bunch of crap. I gotta raise $3,000 in a week. How is calling some dude in Jerusalem gonna help me in any way? But I'm desperate, and I'm in a liminal space, and I don't know what to do. So I call the guy. Sidi gets on the phone. He says, I pray for you. I pray for you. And he hangs up. I don't know what this means, but the long and short of it is, I don't have a lot of time, but I'll wrap up and I'll tell you this. 3 days later, which was 2 days before I was supposed to show up to the school and hand them $3,000, my uncle calls me. My uncle with whom I have very little contact. I don't know the guy very well. We're not close emotionally. We're not like super buds. He's not like take you out on the weekend, uncle, and go bat at the batting cages. I don't know the guy very well. He says to me, Google just bought my company out. And I made an agreement with them whereby every time I hit these milestones in the development of my product under their umbrella, you get cash money. You, your dad, and my other brother, you're gonna get cash money for like 3 years. You're gonna get cash money. I go, oh, okay. So how many dollars do you think came into my checking account by the next 2 days? $3,000, that's exactly right. I paid the school, I went to the school. Now, to try to articulate what happened to me in the school would be impossible, but I can tell you this much. A, the triangle was dissolved. It took about 3 years of chipping away, but the triangle was gone. Gone. So gone that I still to this day often don't recognize myself internally. I don't know who I am with all that stuff gone. B, I experienced such profound states of connection with the unity and the oneness and the peace and the mercy and the justice that combines all things, the realm of unity where there is no separation, that my life was profoundly altered and will never be the same. After I came out of the school, something happened to me. I became what I call feminized, meaning not like combat boot wearing feminized, but like feminized where I'm suddenly very sensitive, very open, very receptive. Things come to me when I quietly sit back and do less, and I ask for help. They just magically, magnetically come to me, and I don't understand it. My whole life, I live now inside this space where I don't know what's coming and I don't know how it's going to come. I'll give you an example. About 10 days ago, I was up here, back in Grass Valley, apparently the center of all things. And I was doing my third comedy show, my third solo show. I do these hour-and-a-half shows. I tour the country with them. This is 12 years now I've been doing them. This is my third one. I was doing it. I did it at St. Joseph's. I had a great time. Now, this was about 3 days before the show was to open. I needed X amount of money. I needed 200 people to come to that show. So I could make X amount of money and all my bills could be covered and my rent could be paid and I could have enough money to pay my gas and eat food for the drive back to Los Angeles where I presently live. So I'm here and I'm doing my marketing. Got my bootstraps up, I'm doing my marketing. I'm still in my spiritual, open, and very connected, but I have to do things, right? We have to do and we have to receive. So I'm doing both, and I'm practicing both. I'm very open, I'm very connected, but I'm doing my things. And I hit a wall about 3 days before the show's supposed to go up. My to-do list still has 20 things on it. I still gotta do those 20 things because as far as I know, I've only got 50 people signed up to come see the show. I got no other prospects on the horizon. This is my rent money. This is my how I'm gonna get in the car and drive back to Los Angeles and not have to call my mommy and ask for help money. Okay, so the stakes are high in Katie land. But I hit the wall energetically. My chi ran out. I hit the wall, right? I had nothing left. And by this time, I have extensive experience with this wall. Whenever I hit this wall now, I understand that what I've been doing is I've been being too male for too long, for too many minutes in a row, and it's time to stop. It's time to stop, sit inside the silence, not know, be scared, and ask for help. So that's what I did. I closed the computer, I got quiet, I put my head down on the ground, I did the prayers as I've been taught to do them, and I said to God, the divine, the great mother, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, help. You know the money I need. You know the amount of people I need to come to the show. I don't have any more energy. I need you to do this. I can't do it. I don't know what to do. And I have so much experience with these miracles happening that I just 100% let it go. Then I took a nap. Then I took a shower. Then I puttered for a while. And then I checked my email. And there were 4 emails in my inbox, and only 4. The first email said, hey Katie, remember that show you auditioned for about a year ago that you totally forgot about? Yeah, so we booked you for the lead role. We're going to pay you lots of money, and we're going to cover your health insurance. That's for January and February. Are you cool with that? B, the second email. Hey Katie, I'm that actor that you didn't hire in that show that you just directed in Los Angeles. I want to hire you to direct this other play in March, right when that play you just booked ends, and pay you lots of money to do it. Are you cool with that? The third email that came in said, hey, it's us, big famous producer people in Los Angeles. We just read that pilot you sent us a year ago and forgot about. We want to talk with you tomorrow on the phone about it. Are you cool with that? And the fourth email said, hey, my name is Susie Daggett. I'm wondering if you'd like to come speak at this TEDx thing on December 2nd about the space between. So I said yes. To all of those things. And I will tell you that we had 150 people at the show. I needed 200. And so there was a gap in how much money I needed. And I thought, okay, God, work it out. And then what happened was on the drive home to Los Angeles, I went back after the show. On the drive home, I got a phone call from my lawyer telling me that the car accident money, the car accident I'd been in a year ago, came in exact amount of money that I didn't get by the extra 50 people that didn't come to the show last week. So what's the point? The point, I guess if I could make a point, the point is that my life took me through things that forced me to let go of that male paradigm. We have to do things in life. I would be remiss to suggest you could just lay down and pray all day and everything will be fine. We have to do things. But what I notice now is that if I sit in the silence and I really drop deeply into the center of it, I can't sit on the edge of it or look at it and intellectualize it from over here. I have to go right into the center of it. If I drop in the energetic center of it and I simply say, help, I get an email or a phone call with an offer, or I get an intuitive direction in my gut that says, go do this random thing that seems to have nothing to do with the thing you need. And I go do the random thing and a job comes out of it. This is how my life is. I don't have any other strategy. I don't have any other technique. This is the only thing I know. And to me, that all sounds very female and very spiritual. 2 things I was certainly never taught to be. So if I could leave you with anything, it's just a prayer that we could all find some kind of deep connection to the feminine. I'll sit quietly in the silence and simply ask for help. Thank you so much.